If you will call the roll, please, Rita.
Ms. Shepherd?
Here.
Mrs. Doneno?
Here.
Ms. Jones?
Here.
Mr. Holton?
Here.
Mrs. Burdick?
Here.
Ms. Redding? Chairman Yem.
Here. All right, approval of minutes, January 14th. Any discussion on that? Seeing as how there is none, I need a motion for approval.
A motion to be accepted.
I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, next is citizen input. If anybody in the audience would like to come up and speak in general matters, if you're not really on the agenda, or listed items on the agenda, now is the opportunity to come up and speak. All right, seeing as how there is none, we're going to move right along to new business. Give Rob a moment.
Go ahead.
You're multitasking for good here.
Okay, what I was going to say is that one of the things that we were brought forward with subcommittees was the new programs information. And what we wanted to do is invite some folks here that may be those folks that help out individuals through our community and give them an opportunity if they wanted to talk a little bit about their programs to come on up and say something on their programs that they do for people out in the community. In addition, the other thing is we want to always let the folks know that are out there that we want to help them out and want to be a partner with them. We've always tried to partner with different groups. Whenever they ask for assistance or help or something like that, we're more than willing to help out. And I know some of the groups that are here right now with their representatives, we are either partners with or have programs that they have utilize our facilities.
Okay, if you will come up, one by one or however you want to do it, and speak freely, and I would invite you to expand on not only what you're doing with the city, but where you think the city could help you more as far as utilizing, what we have. So who would like to come up first?
And I think the other thing I was going to say too, Dick, is I know that some of the people are just here to possibly as a seeing the different groups that help out folks that need help. They may just get some education from it too as well.
Again, I invite you to the microphone because I can't speak for you. I'm talking about the agency representatives. Go ahead, there are a couple of you.
Where should I?
Yeah, welcome to the chambers.
Thank you.
You're also on TV if you didn't know.
I'm Diane from Home Instead Senior Care. We've been in Vero since 1999. The company started in Omaha, Nebraska in 1994. Family wanted to keep Grandma at home and thought, wow, so many other people need this service. So since then, there are now 1,000 franchises around the world. We're in 17 different countries and in every state in the United States. And actually, Greg is one of our favorite clients. So what we do is we have companions and home health aides that go into the home so people can stay in their home as long as possible. We can help with cooking, cleaning, transportation. The home health aides can help with bathing, transferring, if they needed help eating, with incontinence, things like that. And I brought some packets of information. I don't know if I can leave them here. You can all take one, and there's information in there. So you can help us by just spreading the word that we're here to help the senior citizens of Indian River County. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a senior. It's anyone over the age of 18 we can assist. We have some people in their 40s. I think the youngest one we had was 25. Do you have questions I can answer for you?
I think one thing we're trying to do is figure out number one, how we can get more interactive. And some of it's from, I guess, working with the ADA, American Disability Act, is part of our, discussion on how we can bring more interaction. Keep using that word because,
Okay.
we can be a valuable resource, I think, as far as trying to, excuse me, and I'm sure there are other, maybe I'm not aware of it, but I would think there is, like the Senior Resource Center and things like that I don't know how much you interact with each other. I assume
We do.
you do. But I think part of the question, the way this came up, was how can the city,
Help.
or via the Recreation Department, probably give you as much assistance and support as we can.
Right. We specialize in Alzheimer care. We do a lot with the Indian River County Alzheimer and Parkinson's Association. But if we can help get people to different activities and things, however we can help, we're here to assist.
And I was going to say, too, that one of the things I think that is going to be learned from all of this is folks that come up today may not know exactly what may be being asked of them, and I think in this idea, they'll be able to go back and come back to us with some ideas and thoughts, and same on our end. I think that'll be very helpful with this as folks come up. And I also, like I said before, I know like Marty's here from the Veterans Group, and I know that some of the things is, I think he's going to see some organizations out there that maybe they could work together as their group as well.
Well, as I say, we're looking for suggestions on how you think we can help you.
Just connect us, get
That's
the
it.
word out there. That's it. And we're ready to help however we can.
Great.
I would just like to say that
Home Instead is
I
good.
used
Community
Home Instead.
center.
I used Home Instead before my husband went in the nursing home,
Yep.
and they actually sent a male companion that they had lunch together and did things. So it's a really good thing to know.
Yeah.
And they are a partner with the community center, I might add, too,
Right.
with some of the programs
Yes.
that they do.
Yeah, yeah, we're pretty involved in
Yes.
the community. We've helped Greg with his our
We just had the
caregiver help.
snowflake ball,
Yeah.
and Diane was there, and Mike. I have 3 with Home Instead that come in and help me, and I can admit it in public. I was born with cerebral palsy, so my balance isn't great. But when I take a shower, if I try to go barefooted, even in a walker or on my crutches, from the bed into the bathroom, in your bare feet, I can end up falling down. So I always, when I shower, like this morning, Home Instead just comes in and they get me into the shower. Once I'm in the shower, then I can take care of that myself. But they get me in and get me out because I'm in my bare feet and the balance just isn't there. So that's the main reason that I've been with them for years. Because when you're in your bare feet, it's not easy to get up.
Anybody else have a question or comment?
No.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm going to leave this over here. It's a packet of stuff for you guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
Thank you, Diane.
You're welcome.
Marty?
I never turned down an opportunity to talk. As you know, the Iraq-Afghan scenario is winding to a stop, we think. Once again, we've declared victory on the left. And the kids are coming home, and they're not in good shape. And a lot of it is not just physical, but it's also mental. The Veterans Council has organized 2 committees within the council. One of them is for monetary assistance called Upward American Veterans. In the past year, we've only been doing this since August 2012. In the past year, we've had 73 requests for assistance. We were able to help 53, and we've spent over $40,000. That came as a donation from a couple of people in the community. What we need on that type of thing is getting the word out. The other thing is the physical handicaps. Kids are coming home that, quite frankly, never would have survived Vietnam. And that's a good thing in a sense that the hospital care is so good that they have something happens to them within a day. They're in Landstuhl in Germany. Another day they're back at Walter Reed. The problem we have, of course, is how do they do the follow-up care? Because quite frankly, the VA is 900,000 applications behind. So who's going to take care of the kids when they come back? And it falls upon us. The first question I always get is, who's coming back? How many are coming back? And the answer is, A, we don't know. Privacy rules stop our veteran service officers from telling us who's coming back. So we don't know how to reach out to them if we don't know they're back. And when people ask me how many are coming back, the answer is quite simple, I don't know. But do you want to be homeless in Chicago, Detroit, or Vero Beach? Vero Beach is kind of warm. I'm going to pick Vero Beach. The other problem, of course, is everybody we've helped on that list said, if I had a job, I wouldn't have this problem. So I don't expect you folks to create jobs, but what we have done is a group called Veterans Outreach. It focuses specifically on the OEF, which is, and OIF, which is Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom. And we focus on them because they're the ones that have the most problems. A lot of the problems we don't see, but majority of them coming back have some sort of PTSD. It's a matter of how do they manifest that? How do they control it? The VA's answer is drugs. It's not the right answer. But until something better comes along and how we help them, there's various things out there that we try to do. Horse therapy. We've got a lady here in town who does horse therapy, Cindy Devine. That's the mental horse therapy. There's a group on 58th Avenue that does the physical horse therapy. It's something that's great, but again, they can't do that for free. So what we're looking for, and in fact, it's the point where all of you that have grandchildren, how many of you sit down with your grandchild and have a conversation one-on-one? Answer is nobody. How do the kids communicate nowadays? Their cell phone, texting, and they will be sitting next to each other, texting each other instead of talking. So how do we reach them? Well, when you're my age, I don't have the foggiest idea how to reach them, nor do we have the slightest idea of how to engage them in a conversation. We did an air show here in October. Very, very successful. First one we've done in 18 years, and the city did a great job helping us. We've got another one coming up in May. The Blue Angels will be here. This is our opportunity to reach out to those who are in that condition and come back. One of the things we do is we work with the Make-A-Wish people out of Fort Lauderdale. They cover Indian River County. And the problem that we had is I was given 10 tickets by Raytheon and told to pass these out to the veterans, the handicapped veterans. And amazingly, I thought I was going to have trouble finding them. I didn't have any problem at all. I hadn't been out there 10 minutes. And a young man came along in a wheelchair with a 6-year-old daughter and his wife. And I said, OEF, OIF. He said, both. He said he was in 1999, 2001, 2002, 2003, and they got him in 2005. That's 5 trips to the sandbox. You are coming back with a problem. The point of this whole thing, though, is this kid has been in a wheelchair living in Vero Beach since in Sebastian since 2005. How come we can't find them? You never see them in Publix, any of the stores. Our problem is we can't find them. And that's what we've had to do is we have hired a lady, Bernadette Rednauer, who, if you haven't heard from her, you will, her husband was blown up with an IED in 2003, took out the back of his skull. He's got about 70% titanium now. And he has done extremely well because of her more than anything else. But part of our goal is to find out agencies within the county and the entire Treasure Coast, as far as that goes, that are there to help veterans. What can you do to help veterans? What does your organization do? And that's why I'm here, is to find out what do organizations do? Why, who do we go to? What we want is to be able to have a single point of contact. So when a veteran comes to Indian River County, they're supposed to check in with Joel Herman, our veteran service officer here in Vero, or Becky Mitchell over in Sebastian. If they check in there, we want to be able to give them a packet that said, here's your single point of contact. And that single point of contact is Bernadette. She has reached out to 175 different agencies so far in the 6 months that we've hired her, and knows who they do, and what they don't do, which is more importantly. For instance, the Mental Health Collaborative, they're having a meeting tomorrow, which I'm going to. Sounds like that'd be the ideal place. And it is if you have a drug habit, an alcohol habit, a smoking habit, but they don't know how to handle PTSD. So who do you go to? And right now, the answer is we don't know. We've got some ideas, but how do we handle it? And it is so complicated. The Vietnam veterans, of which I'm the current president, still do PTSD classes every Tuesday. And Vietnam ended 40 years ago. So it doesn't go away. It's not something you can take with a pill, but that's the VA's answer. The VA's answer is, here's another pill. Oh, that one didn't work? Well, here's a different pill. And we've had cases where they're going up, they find out they have a drug, do not have the affinity to the drug, they end up, it's eating their liver up, so they take them off that pill. What do you think happens? Goes right back down again. They give them a new pill, he comes back up again. So they're in a constant yo-yo. And we think it's bad for the veteran, you ought to see the spouse who sent their husband off to war as a normal human being, and he came back totally different. A lot of our guys can't even sleep in the same room as their wife. That's not a good thing. So, but how do we handle it? I don't expect the recreation center to be able to handle the mental problems, but the physical problems, what we need to know is what's available, who can help, who do we go to, what's available that is outside the VA, because the VA is not the answer. They're part of the problem, they're not the answer. So what do we do? And that's why I'm here, is to learn what we can do. Where do we go as, swimming pools? What is the capability? And the answer is, I really don't know. But we've got to be able to figure that out, of how do we go? And that's what Bernadette's doing.
A couple of things, because as you know, I'm a veteran.
You bet.
In the same era as you. And probably a lot of similar experiences. Can the VA send to the veterans group here, the local, regional, a list of, I don't know if we want the whole list of all, past veterans, but primarily the disabled ones?
Can't get it. Privacy rules.
Okay.
So we don't know. That's our problem, is we don't know who is here that could use our help. So the only way we have of reaching out to them is putting stuff on we've started Facebook, we have Pinterest, we have Twitter.
What about if we go through federal contacts, senators, congressmen, things like that, to see if we can get a change to facilitate something like that?
Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to happen. HIPAA rules alone just eat us up. We do, within the Veteran Service Officer, Joel Herman can be working with somebody and we'll never know it because he can't say a single thing to us.
No, I understand that.
So, you end up there it's one of those, like we used to say in the military, you can't go till you've been. And so we don't know who they are. And it's hard to advertise something if you don't know who they are. So the only way we have of doing something is what we're doing now, trying to get these kids to a meeting. There are 650 kids enrolled in IRSC. I think that's a pretty good way of reaching them.
All right, let me throw one other thing that came up, what you were talking about. It sounds like physical therapy.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got facilities. Bernadette can call us, and I know
Yeah.
Marty. Marty would have no problem giving us a call. We talked to Marty.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as far as swimming pools, I know you have Leisure Square and you've got North County.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if you need better coordination as far as getting access.
I think the biggest thing would just be to have Marty and Bernadette give us a call, and we try to figure something out, sit down and discuss it with the different individuals. And then the other thing is we have recreation facility too, exercise facility that might be good for some of the folks
If you could
therapeutically.
If you could figure that out and then announce, like on public channel, that you have a swimming session between 4 and 5
Sure.
on Thursdays specifically
Yeah.
for disabled vets. So you start, advertising that, they'll be looking for you.
The way you get to them is through their parents.
Yes.
A lot of them come home. A lot of them, they were 18 years old. They graduated high school. They went in the military. Military is now dumping them by the thousands. And where do they come? They come here. They can't find a job unless they work at the CVS distribution center. And what do? They stay home until mom and dad finally say, son, daughter, it's time to go out and into the world. That's why a lot of them are in college, is because they can't find jobs. They go to school.
Well, we know, that unfortunately a large majority of them become reclusive.
Yeah, very much so.
Depression and everything else, which I agree with. The medication is not the answer.
Yeah, we have a number of them that I have one of the guys that was damaged in 2003 still sits in his garage and plays video games. Married with a couple of kids.
Yeah.
As opposed to Bernadette's husband, who is out and about. But it took him 10 years to do that.
If you want me to work with you, Rob and Bernadette.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're
See if
trying
we
to
can
do, is
identify
find out
something.
what's available, how do we get it, and get the information out and get it to the parents, because the parents are the ones that will motivate the kids. We also work with a group called the Buggy Bunch. And if you're familiar with them, they're the ones who did the food event, food truck. The reason we work with them is the wives. So that's what we're working with them, to be able to get the wives to say, honey, here's something you might be interested in. So we're doing a lot. The sheriff's office has been extremely good with us. They have a number of vets that are in it, and they're working with us pretty closely. So it's a matter of what's available. And like you said, I think it's a great idea to set something aside, which is a lot of times it's hard to do. But just set it aside and say, hey, here's an hour that's devoted strictly to disabled veterans. We're doing that with the Blue Angels are coming to town, and we're on Friday, we're bringing in veterans, because a lot of the kids with PTSD can't handle crowds, and they'll have a meltdown. So we're going to have a special day just for them and the Make-A-Wish kids. So there's things like that, and if you can take every opportunity, we've got a store at the mall. Put something up at the store and said, hey, this is available. Here's something that's available. Let Bernadette know. She'll put it on Facebook. And then look at that.
All right, let me expand the idea, because not only doing it city-wise, recreation-wise, we can probably get the county.
Yeah. Lots of good opportunities. It's just a matter of getting.
Well, it's how to use the facilities, I think, is what where we can help the best.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I can give Marty all that information about who their contacts are.
All right, well, maybe bring Mike in with
Mike and that group.
That'd be great.
A big joint meeting. All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
I would like to volunteer when I can. My father was a retired disabled veteran, and I saw what I grew up with. It was a nightmare at times.
Yes. Yeah, really is. It's difficult to work with. The PTSD thing, you just don't know. I mean, a person will look like they're totally normal. And
He
all
did
the,
till thunderstorms came.
Yeah, the 4th of July, they can't go out on 4th of July. There's all sorts of things and the IRSC is a veteran-friendly campus, which makes it such a good place. They understand the problem these guys have got, and girls. And women are coming back. Women in combat, trust me, they're out there. And they have been out there. Whether the government acknowledges or not, they have been out there. I have a good friend that's going to college, and she said she was driving down State Road 60, down the middle lane, of course, which they all drive down, and saw a flash and slammed on the brakes. It doesn't go away. Been there.
Yeah, I haven't met a veteran that isn't marked in some way.
Yeah. That's just a matter of how it's
I mean, you and I both are.
Yep. Absolutely.
It seems your largest problem is the psychological end of it.
Oh, absolutely. But physical, more and more are coming back that have physical problems that never would have made it out of Vietnam.
But I think we can help. We'll figure something
I
out.
think so.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Come on, the clock's running.
Hello, I'm Christy Johnson. I'm representing the Senior Resource Association. I'm here to talk a little bit about our programs and how you guys can help us. We are celebrating our 40th anniversary this year. We've been around since 1974, and we serve about 3,000 seniors a day. And through our services and programs, we have case management staff. They do a lot of information and referrals. Anyone that needs assistance or contacts or resources, they can call us and we can refer them. We also have a nutrition program. We have Meals on Wheels, which is a nationally recognized program. We also have social congregate meals. This is where we have 5 locations in Indian River County where seniors can come and congregate and enjoy their meals through our program. We also have Emergency Meals on Wheels, which is a program that when seniors get discharged from a healthcare or rehab facility or the hospital, they're provided meals for 30 days after being discharged, which actually lowers the rate of being readmitted into a facility. We also have Pet Meals on Wheels. We work with the Humane Society on this program. A lot of seniors tend to want to give their food to their pets when they're low on supplies, so we have this program so that they are able to provide themselves with nutrition as well as their animals. We also have an adult daycare program that is in Sebastian and Vero. This is a program for clients that have a neurological or cognitive impairment and can't be left at home alone. This is a great program for people to not have to go into a nursing home. It gives them more independence. They can stay at home. They can stay at the facility for a minimum of 2 hours or the full day from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., and it's Monday through Friday. So it is a not overnight program. It's just for the day. We do activities. We provide meals. It's a great program. As most of you probably know, we do operate the Community Coach and Go line in conjunction with the county. We have the Community Coach, which is a door-to-door service where seniors need to apply in order to be a part of this program. It's $2 each way, a very minimal fee, and it's a great service for anyone who can't provide transportation for themselves. We also have the Go line, which is 14 fixed routes. There's no fee to ride, and you have to be at least 12 years old to ride the Go line. Does anybody have any questions so far?
Is there any possibility of expanding the Go line farther north than J.C. Park?
We operate the Go line in all of Indian River County, and we have our fixed routes so far. We do take recommendations for new routes, so that's something that can be handled by writing or calling us, and we can see what we can do about expanding.
Yeah, it's like half a mile down to CVS, but a lot of people from Indian River Shores like to use the Go line too, and it's a hike all the way down to J.C. Park.
Right. Yeah, we do our best to have as many stops as possible and have enough staff to provide for all of that. And, we definitely want to expand and grow. So that's something we would love to do.
Great.
And we're partners with Senior Resource, with Karen and their whole group. We've done everything from having shuttle service to providing when some of their facilities were down, they utilized some of our recreation facilities, and in addition, some of their programming, if it's some programming that may not be a fit now for their group, they give us a call, and we brought the Accidentals back, Bobby, if you remember them, and we have them on Tuesday and Fridays, and we have an open door policy, a good open door policy with Senior Resource.
And if I can just add another thing, we do still serve as an activity resource center. So if people do call in, seniors are looking for specific activities, taking place at Leisure Square or Vero Beach Community Center, we can find those activities for them. We've had a little bit of a change where we don't have a senior center anymore, and we've used that to convert and grow our adult daycare program. But we still love to help seniors find exactly what they're looking for activity-wise, and any activities that are pushed our way to get out to all these seniors, we're definitely willing to help.
How many Go Line units do you have?
As far as the routes or the...
How many units are available
How many,
if you're going to cover the whole county?
How many buses?
How many buses you got?
Yeah, how many buses?
Buses so far. I'm not sure on I know we have 14 fixed routes, but I think we have more buses than on each route. Each route operates every hour, so
it's on
every
an
stop
hourly
it's
basis.
every hour.
Closed the senior resource.
The activity center?
Yeah, the people that used to take art classes there, they went for a while someplace else, but it didn't work out. Where are they meeting now, or are they meeting now?
I don't know that. That's a good question, because we sit down and go through each of those programs with Karen, and I really don't know that. I didn't know that until now. So
I know that some of the activities, I think Our Savior Lutheran, some of the different churches are offering the activities there, but I believe most of the activities that were taking place at the senior center have just been moved to a different location and are still taking place.
Don Mill used to have a pretty good-sized class there, and I think they've dissolved, although I think there's a small group now that meets in the library. That was a really popular venue.
Yeah, we work on trying to, make sure that those activities still exist and that we can refer any seniors to those activities.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Just stay in touch with, I guess, Rob. Work him to death.
thanks.
I learned to volunteer other people. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Dales. I'm with Sunup ARC. We've been here since 1975. We merged Sunup and ARC March 31st of 2012. So we're approaching our 2-year anniversary from our merger. We provide services to persons with special needs. And our primary focus is with people with intellectual disabilities. Additionally, people with cerebral palsy, autism, spina bifida, and Down syndrome. We do assist a small portion of persons with traumatic brain injury, and most of the individuals, 50 to 60% of the people who we do serve do have a secondary diagnosis of a mental illness. We serve approximately 180 individuals every week. Service-wise, we have an adult day training program. We operate a facility in Sebastian, and we operate 2 facilities in Vero. We have 4 residential group homes. We have a supported living program for working with people who live out on their own. Unlike a group home situation where they're staffed there 24/7, supported living, they're there maybe 25 hours a week to assist with banking or medical appointments and things of that nature. We provide a supported employment program to go out and place people in the community, which might be able to help you out with that, Marty. Because we not only work with people with developmental disabilities in our supported employment program, but also people with any type of disability. My suggestion would be, if somebody needs a job, would be to have them, if they have some type of disability, go to vocational rehabilitation and apply, and they can get assistance for having a job coach go out and help them in the community for job placement, and I'll be glad to touch base with you afterwards. but we run that program as well. We have a behavioral services program. We have a PhD on staff who writes behavior plans for people who have aggressive behavior, self-injurious behavior, some type of negative behavior that we would like to replace with a more socially acceptable behavior. We do operate a transportation service. We have a fleet of vehicles. We do door-to-door transportation because a lot of the individuals we provide our day program service are not able to navigate transportation on their own. We've partnered with the rec center on activities. We partner with Special Olympics, which Special Olympics, I'm sure you guys are acutely aware of. They use your facilities quite frequently. We also partner with Special Equestrians. So it would be beneficial because a lot of our individuals, Special Olympics uses the rec center, but we are here, and we, for instance, like the pool, we like to go swimming all year, minus a few of the cool months. Something about no heat and pools here, no offense, but we really don't need it except for about 6 weeks of the year. So, but I mean, that would be something that would be wonderful use from the rec center. Maybe just utilization, because our group homes, and our supported living program, we have about 35 individuals who we're responsible every day living or work with them on activities and metabolisms with people who have a disability. Somebody, for instance, with Down syndrome, their metabolism just by nature is 6% slower than our own. So even if I've got somebody standing next to me, Joey, who exercises the same, eats the same, Joey's metabolism is slower than mine. So making sure, I mean, it's always beneficial for all of us to be out, exercise, walking. Pool, of course, is very beneficial because you don't have the joints and other things, but that is huge. So that would be something that would be beneficial for us.
I just talked to his mom yesterday. I will meet him with the Kiwanis Action Club Thursday night at Sunup ARC.
I will, yes.
I'll meet that young man. And I have about possible 4 new members. We've been the largest in the world, the Kiwanis Club for the Mentally and Physically Challenged. Well, it's up to about 168, and I can add about another 4 or 5 people that have just called me in the last 10 days.
Greg
And
oversees the local clubs.
I've always told them about what's available at Sunup ARC. Take your child down, what they could learn and develop themselves, not only physically, but mentally.
Thank you.
Questions?
No, I love it.
I do too.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate you coming, and all of you, because I think there's room to help everybody work together. I think a little more, and I think some of the facilities that the city has, we got to figure out how to do it.
Well, I was going to suggest maybe we have an agency fair for all these people, and the public can come out to it to learn about it.
Do they have one? I think they already have one, don't they?
An agency fair? I don't think
They have to speak for themselves, huh?
Not-
We go to the
Health fair.
Okay.
But my thing with, and as I prefaced it too, is with the group that's here, do not hesitate to give me a call over at the Recreation Department. Let's see if we can't work something out. The other idea was the shared ideas. Here you have Heather talking with Marty right now, which is, I think, great. That was, I think, the idea behind having the invitation.
Well, there's value
which
in
is
each
shared
group.
use.
I mean, everybody that came up and presented.
Senior
it's-
resource and everybody, and Homestead, it's great. It's
Unfortunately, I have to move the meeting along.
Just to bring it up quickly, one of the quicker ways to get more people to know about it, the Indian River County Firefighter Fair will start on the 14th of March and will run for 10 days. In that building, there's all kinds of booths, and you can just bring everything then that you have to improve someone's capability. So you'll see a lot of people in 10 days.
It's a good idea.
All right. Thank you. Let's go to the letter from Indian River Sports Complex.
Yes, we have George Buddy Young here, who's from the Indian River Sports Complex, and y'all should have received a letter, proposed letter to myself and to Jim O'Connor, city manager, from Buddy. And the idea was, I think, when looking at this letter, I kind of look at it in two pieces, two different paragraphs. One paragraph is the baseball component, and then the second one is considerations. And I'm going to let Buddy talk about what's going on and what they're up to, and Saturday and everything.
To be honest with you, we've just took over.
Have to start with your name and address.
I'm George Young, Anywhere Sports Complex. Chris Thomas is my partner. We both have taken over the complex right across the street from Vero Beach High School.
Are you city residents, either of you?
Vero Beach.
Okay.
And we've taken over the complex right across the street from Vero Beach High School, which is 11.7 acres. At that point in time, we have leased that property for the next 20 years to develop a baseball facility right there. And in doing so, we've just opened up. We have 381 baseball players, kids from 4 years old all the way to 18 years old that we're doing a Cal Ripken Babe Ruth baseball there. And in doing so, we've already started to upgrade the facility, and we're hoping to, with your help, try to bring the baseball group that's over on the beach side, Bob Summers Field, trying to bring that group over into the facility too, to kind of bring all the age groups together at one facility so we don't have everyone spread out. And in doing so, we're trying to, like I said, upgrade that facility to bring a better baseball into Indian River County.
It sounds like a great idea, but does the city own that or the county?
County.
Okay. What
two
George
different-
is saying is that the complex that they're leasing for 20 years is the county complex. But in the letter, you'll see that some of the fields and everything else that they're looking with shared use are city fields.
I've seen quite a few improvement with the painting of the buildings already.
Right.
There's been incredible outpouring of volunteerism with their whole business structure.
I think you need to go a little bit into what happened to Little League, basically.
Well, to be honest with you, what happened with Little League was they were asked by the county and the city to merge as one league. Well, they petitioned the Little League headquarters up in Williamsport, and they put 4 different petitions up to try to have one league, and the appeals were denied each time. So they weren't allowing them to make one league for Indian River County. So Cal Ripken was another organization that would allow that to happen, and to save money and also bring all the kids into the county into one league. That's why we went with Cal Ripken baseball and Babe Ruth baseball. And Indian River Sports Complex is in the process of hopefully the Michael Field, which is over on US 1, and the 4 practice fields over there. We're hoping to be able to maintain those facility and use that facility for these kids for T-ball, coach pitch, and the minor league baseball for the smaller kids to be able to play over there. And obviously we'd be intent on taking care of the facility and keeping the upgrade of the facility in the process.
All right. I got a lot of questions.
Sure.
Let me just start with the girls softball at Rosewood.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to be included?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Girls softball. And we also have some girls softball that's going to be coming over into the complex itself, which is across the street from Vero Beach High School. They're going to have softball over there also.
Okay. One of the issues we had at Rosewood was the utilities. Pretty much that was the big bugaboo there, the cost of those.
And we plan on taking over all that responsibility and the maintenance of the facilities.
Okay, so you're going to pay the city for the use of electricity?
Yes, sir.
That thing switched to them.
All right,
Yes.
I'm just asking questions.
Yes.
The
And that also includes Michael Field also. That utilities and water will also get switched over to us also.
all right, you mentioned that you have a lease now with the county
Yes, sir.
for your sports complex. Are you intending to go into a lease on Miller Field?
On building a field?
Mitchell Field, I guess. Is that what it is?
Oh, Michael Field.
Yeah,
Michael?
three choices. I'm
Well,
out.
Well, it would need to be something contractual, and I know that with the, of course, with your all's blessing and with getting the information over to the council, and if they also approve, having something go with Jim and with Wayne, the city attorneys, and then put something together and bring it back to.
So you will go
George
into some type of lease agreement then?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yes, sir.
All right. Another part of the proposal, which I read, was that the existing, that Bob Summers, all the existing equipment and things like that.
Like scoreboard and fencing.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to add, I hate to interject, but can I interject a little bit? One thing I was going to ask you, Dick, before you get into that one, do you like the idea of the first component before you get into the consideration, or am I just being,
No, as far as our supporting their concept,
yes, that first paragraph where it basically, what Buddy's saying, because I know these are two separate.
okay,
kind
we'll
of,
split it.
Yep.
All right, so let's take the first part, as far as supporting the concept. Anybody discussion on that?
I move we support the concept.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
See, that was easy.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
All right.
Yours.
Now, the second part, as far as equipment, facilities, et cetera. We talked about Michael Field. Bob Summers, I personally have difficulty with turning that over or breaking down the field. Because number one, it's expensive to build that. Plus, it's really the last neighborhood facility over there on the island that I'm aware of. So personally, I would not like to see that go away as far as having opportunity for other people to use it. I mean, if you guys are going to use it, that's fine, but considering the shape that place is in, you want to say something, or?
Well, to be honest with you, there's been a decline in the number of kids that have been over in that league, and it's been a struggle to be able to pay the bills and deal. And what I found out, I've done some research on that, and they've had a hard time with that league over there. And by bringing it over to downtown Vero, I've already made some connections because they have middle school baseball now here in the county, and they also have freshman baseball in the county, and that takes away a lot of the 13 through 18-year-old kids that would be over there now already playing over on the island. So the bottom line is, if we have taken and started, we're going to start in April, that way the middle school baseball is over, the freshman baseball is over, and be able to bring those kids in, and we have a centrally located spot right there downtown. It makes it a lot easier to get the kids involved, and we have two fields there that they can play on that are the right size already. And to me, being able to add that fourth field, I don't know how many of you all have been out to that area or not. There's a grassed-in area out there that right now is not being utilized. And what we'd like to do is build another smaller field there with the lights and the fencing to be able to have four fields going at one time, so that you have more baseball being used at the same time in the same location. So if a parent has a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 14-year-old, they're coming to one facility. All of them are getting a chance to be seen, and it's not putting a burden on them having to drive across the bridge over there, drop one off, and leave them, and come back over here and watch the other three play at our facility.
All right, but what I'm trying to do is separate, talking about neighborhood park versus organized baseball. Okay.
Are there any neighborhood kids that use the park for baseball?
Well, first of all, you got an improved field, so if you take it away, you're never going to put it back. I mean, just because of the cost.
Well, you could still play daytime over there. We're just talking about some of the facility, and I mean, if you're saying that you'd like to keep the park the way it is, I know that and I know I heard you before the meeting started about the dog park, and I know that it'd be nice to be able to maybe expand that a little bit, because I know that's a big thing in this area. But I'm not trying to push out baseball or anything like that. But if we're able to bring all the kids into one area, it makes it a lot easier on parents and driving, and that way that's what we're looking at.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm actually very supportive of it. But I think, as far as my suggestion, recommendation, is to keep Bob Summers Field the way it is, at least for a year or two, to find out what interest, whether or not, I mean, it's a great field, and you might get co-ed softball, baseball, you never know who will come in and want to use that field. That's,
When's the last time anybody did use it?
well, they haven't been able to.
Now, it's basically been, the junior senior league has been run through junior senior league, and if anybody wanted to utilize it, they would go through junior senior league. And in this case, with what with what they're proposing and everything, those folks would just come through their facility now.
Well, who else are you thinking of using that field?
Well, I know 10, 15 years ago, we used to have co-ed softball in the city.
Now, the Codgers, did they use?
No, they
county,
use North County and
the
South
county
County
has both of those programs.
Well, they used to use the fields across the high school.
Yeah, they use South County and North County for that, and the county has the co-ed softball and the softball program.
But those two new facilities they built in South County and North County, that pretty much handles all the softball for men and women and co-ed. So to be honest with you, and the upkeep and the maintenance of the facility, I'll be honest with you, it's gotten rough over there because I was over there myself to kind of take a layout of it. But the bottom line is, if we were able to utilize some of the parts over there, you still have a ballpark there. You can still be utilized during the daytime, and you also have the chance to, see us be able to have another field already in the works for us to be able to go ahead and have more kids playing at one facility.
Well, my thinking is, like I say, wait probably 2 years, 3 years before moving any of that infrastructure out, just to see if there is demand, to use it as a city recreation facility.
But it's just going to decline if it sits there for 2 or 3 years.
It depends. You don't know. I mean, if it starts declining and something needs to be done.
What do you think, Rob?
Well, there's a couple different mindsets. First of all, I kind of look at the equipment in pieces. I look at the different pieces, but you also have to have the mindset. This is city taxpayer funded pieces. So there's that. And then the second thing you have to look at is also you have to look at the usage. Is there a group that possibly may want to utilize that field? I kind of look at it in pieces. I think of things that are usable, and maybe if you think of Dick's idea, I mean, a couple different things come to light. First of all, these guys, even though they're at the county's field, it's really within the city limits. So it's not like these things are moving out of the city. The second thing is that, when you look at the different components, the scoreboard, bleachers, when I look at those two things, I kind of think, if it's going to be a couple years before we have anything, maybe they should be those kind of things that go, that can be used, and that would just be something that, these guys could use. And then when you look at the fencing and the lights are, it's not like they're brand new, but, lights are expensive, and, it's not, Dick's not wrong that once that does go, if the lights go, well, it'd be awfully expensive to get them back. We know that lights at, when we had the lights replaced at Michael Field, they were $180,000 or $190,000, I believe. But those were new lights, and that was a new system. Fencing, the fencing out there it's okay, but it's not great. I can tell you that right now. The fencing's okay. Nothing that, I wouldn't.
We're probably talking about the lights and the scoreboard and the bleachers are the three main components that we're talking about. Because to be honest with you, if you still have a fenced-in area, you still have a ballpark there, you just don't have it used at nighttime. And I can't speak for Rob, but I don't know how many other groups other than juniors and seniors are using the facility at nighttime over there at all.
Well, the difficult part is nobody knows what the demand of usage would be at this point, because it really hasn't been declared vacated.
But we know what it's been, right? We know the history.
Well, it's been a junior senior league ball field that's been totally dedicated to that. It hasn't been open to the community at large. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. We need to wait and find out, what that is. Again, I'll go back 10, 15 years ago, there was a big co-ed league here.
Well, and
it's
one
still
of the,
here, it's
and I mean,
just
one of the
the
things I was
county.
going to say too, when we talk about the lighting and stuff, and Jim mentioned it, and it's true. We've come to a time now where the leagues had a real difficult time paying the utility bills,
Yes, they do.
and the idea is that
It's
You know,
$4,000 right now to turn the electricity back on over at Michael Field, and we're going to take over that responsibility, and we're going to take over the lighting bill also over at Thompson Field. So we're looking at trying to help out any way we can, but also keep baseball strong in Indian River County by having the tournaments and the different things go on here to where we have these people coming in from different areas and staying in our hotels and hopefully coming to our restaurants and stuff like
It feels
that.
to me like an answer to our prayers of last year when we were begging for somebody to raise their hand and say, we'll pay the electric bill. I mean, these guys want to do it. I think we should help them.
Yeah, just to move it on, we can go to a vote. I move that we allow them to take the equipment from Michael Field.
I second that.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Bob Summers, you meant, not Michael.
I'm sorry, Bob Summers.
Okay. I'm going to oppose it. So I guess we probably need to do a roll
Call
call.
for a vote, please.
Mrs. DeNino,
Yes.
Ms. Jones,
Definitely.
Mr. Holton,
Yes.
Mrs. Burdick,
Yes.
Mr. Yem.
No. Okay.
So that'll go to the city council now.
Yes.
Yes. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
George was a big baseball hero in high school, too.
All right, Rob.
Yes,
Thank you.
I had given you all a copy of the yearly report, and it basically gives you the current state of the Recreation Department, and it gives you some information on us, and I just wanted to make sure you all received that. Hopefully it was educational if you went through it, informational for you.
You know what I read in your report is when you link it with the report from the Finance Committee, I don't think the Finance Committee did enough. I think they didn't raise enough rates to give you the money you need to help. It just,
Oh, you mean with our rates?
right.
Well, one of the things I was going to say too is that when we got the rates to you, because Greg and I are working on that one, what we did was we asked our staffs to bring what their recommended new rates are, and for you all to take a look at it and come back next month to give us your thoughts.
I'd love to do that.
And then the other thing is the finance subcommittee still needs to meet too, because a number of the group of Barbara Russell, who just went through Garden Fest, we have Paul Drittenboss, who's on it, who's going to have the Bear and Wing Fest. Cindy Lawson's been tied up with auditors, et cetera. So we wanted to give that group time to also come in with their ideas. So we were looking for your ideas as well as theirs and discuss
When you
it.
do that, I don't think the right answer for proposed new fee is ever no change.
The challenge is, and we've learned, and I understand what you're saying, Sue, the challenge is that in some cases we just raise the rates, but also we have found with any change, our numbers can drop without, and we encountered that with performing arts, didn't we? With the class gymnastics.
Years ago.
Yes.
And each staff kind of did their own benchmarking.
Right.
They compared to other
Correct.
cities and or programs within the city,
That's
similar to ours.
That's right.
Morning aerobics is $2 and it can't go to $3. I mean, it's $2.
When we went from Bobby can probably, I think Bobby can vouch for this. When we went from $1 to $2, they were first of all, they went on strike.
Well,
And-
first of all, when you keep it low, when I taught, we charged $1. I had 125 in the class. When we raised the rates, that class dropped to half. So you're not making any money
Yes.
because you're
They go
dealing with
right on.
seniors. You're dealing with
That's
seniors.
right. It's
Dealing with what?
They're seniors. It's senior aerobics.
And they'll strike. I mean, they'll go on strike.
Oh, my God.
And they will let you have it. They let us have it on top of it. So what we try to do is we try to give a balance. What we try to do when we look at, I understand exactly what you're saying, Sue, to try and make up some of the differences, but we have to go through a balance of, because really what happens is if you tip that balance, you actually do lose money. We now, I will say in the aerobics, Bobby said she had 125. I think right now we're running between 45 and maybe 60, okay? So you go from 125, you're making $125, to now you're making between 80 and 125, and that's at its peak. Now, we're not even talking about peak numbers, but that's at its peak. So it's kind of one of those things where we've got to kind of weigh it out and balance it. And we try. And the other thing we wanted to make sure we included when we talked to the folks, to our different staff who were benchmarking, was we wanted to make sure include the 3% for credit card, if it's like ID cards and memberships and things like that, to incorporate and make sure they include that into the balances.
All right, so we're going to bring this back in March.
We are, and we can beat it up too. That's fine.
I should probably put the clock behind me.
Put
Yeah.
it higher on the agenda so we can get to it.
Well,
And the idea with the one for today with the rates was just for you guys to take a look and then come back in March, and the same thing for the finance subcommittee.
all right, programs.
Programs. What I did was I know Judy had what she had for information regarding the programs, and I wanted to make sure to give you a little bit of information on that. One was that there was a voted by council to have a possible teen group.
Rita sent me papers.
Teen Activities Group is a resolution from 2011. Advisory Commission, Youth Advisory Commission. And to be honest with you, I don't think that ever got any legs at all. The other thing is that we're going to try and, with the teen activities, try to get in talk with the local church organizations. I already spoke with Jeff about this and see if we can pull them back in and start seeing if we can do some programs for teens. Special needs, I think the idea is more of what we're looking at today, more of the partnership. Give us a call. Let's see what we can work
My
with.
youth director at my church contact you.
Sure,
Just got a new one.
sure. Absolutely.
So are we basically finished with that committee?
Yeah. And then staffing for new program. Again, a lot of it ties into, it's got to be, I think right now, the way the budgets are going, I think it needs to be more about facility and partnership sharing than actual program providing. I think that's where we got to kind of lead for now and go that route. Because right
All
now,
then I guess as far as the future goes, if you have specific causes, et cetera, then you need to bring it back and we'll put it on the agenda.
correct.
Okay, let's go to Recreation Directors Matters.
I'll take that. March 15th, we have our first firefighters fair performance with all of the students enrolled in our performing arts session right now. The first show's at 1:30 and the second show's at 3. And then we have another show on March 17th at 6:30. And we also have the mother-daughter tea party this Saturday, 2 o'clock, community
Who's going
center.
to take over when the baby comes? Because that's about your due date, isn't it?
Yeah, we have a plan in place. It'll be all right.
I want to be out there and hearing it.
All right,
Thanks.
Chairman's Matters.
Great stuff.
I have nothing. Let's start in the end. Members' Matters.
I don't have any.
I'm good.
How'd your gymnastic enrollment sign up go?
It was good. It was pretty much about the same as this time last year. So it was good.
Greg?
My only question is, for Patty, what you just mentioned, will that just be at Leisure Square, or will it be part of the firefighter fair facilities?
It'll be part of the fair, at
firefighters.
the fair.
Yeah,
So,
they'll
so
be at the fair.
We've
it'll
done
actually
this.
be at the fair, because I like the Action Club there on the 15th. About,
They'll be there.
what were the times again?
1:30 and 3.
Oh,
they'll be
okay.
there.
All right.
We'll
I'll be there.
all day.
I think
Then-
I'm seeing that day.
Patty, do you have a booth at the fair?
No,
No.
we don't have the staff for 10 days.
Yeah.
It'd be nice, but we couldn't staff it.
All right, Bobby. You have anything else? Okay, then I guess we move to adjournment. That's it.